Shalom, today is April 17th and we're in day 559 of the war in Israel. The newspaper has some unique interviews with some of the survivors of the Nova Festival and others that have left some of their loved ones behind in captivity while other of their family members have returned. So it's very, very interesting. While the main headline are the conditions, the new conditions. I'll read it in Hebrew. Hatnaim לחזרה ליישובים צמודי גבול בעוטף. The conditions for the return of the Israeli settlements, towns, villages that are close to the border and the Gaza envelope. We'll understand a little bit more as we open up the newspaper and read the details. Here we go. Israel במלחמה. Israel is at war. המציאות החדשה ברצועת עזה. The new reality in the Gaza Strip. In the image, we see IDF forces fighting and active in the Gaza Strip. While the IDF has not decided on a strict deadline for the limited groundwork that they have been doing the last couple months, they're identifying some signs that are indicating that the fear of the population of Gaza is breaking, the fear from Hamas. So it's not collective, it's not a game changer, but they are noticing some different activities from the citizens of Hamas that are indicating that they are tired of Hamas and the fear, they call it the mahsom pachad, the fear blockade is breaking. The IDF is also choosing or deciding on new conditions for the return of the Israelis to the Gaza envelope, back to their homes, back to their hometowns that are still considered unsafe, and many of them are just unlivable as they're burnt and ruined, and it's just not a place you can live in. In the last couple of months, with the limited groundwork that the IDF has been doing, 1,200 targets have been blown up, exploded. About 350 terrorists have been attacked and killed, and 5 significant tunnels have been discovered. So when I read this article, what is the main condition that the IDF is sharing and explaining to the political level? This condition is for the return of the Israelis back to their hometowns. It is this. It is a strategic point that is in Gaza, and it's called Reches HaShiv'im. Reches is mountain range. It's not really mountain, it's more like a hill range. And Shiv'im is the number 70. So it's called range 70 because of the height. It's 70 meters high. It is in Sajaiya and in Gaza. And while if the IDF does not have control over that, this is a very strategic point that Hamas can use in order to look out into all the Jewish villages and the Israeli side. So the IDF is saying we need to be in control of this Reches Shiv'im, of this range 70 range. Now the meaning of this is that the IDF, Israel, takes control over land in the Gaza Strip. Will this be successful? Will this be approved? Will this be allowed? We will see. But they're saying that is a must condition in order that the citizens of Israel can return to their homes safely, because we will be in charge of that high point and we'll be able to keep those places safe. And it will not be in that strategic point will not be in the hands of Hamas. Lastly, I'll read the last paragraph here that is about the humanitarian aid that Israel has stopped for about a month, has stopped sending to Gaza. So the IDF is emphasizing and saying that there is no starvation in Gaza. And nif'al shelo yeh mashber humanitari, we'll act that there will not be a humanitarian aid according to the international law in Gaza. But we do not want to give Hamas koach. Koach means power, strength. We do not want to give Hamas koach. Stopping the humanitarian aid about a month ago has brought to a break in the governance of Hamas, to the rise of prices in the Gaza Strip, and to pressure on Hamas from the side of the Gaza citizens. So this is a new strategy. Where we are causing pressure on Hamas through Gaza citizens and not through the military attack pressure. In this image, we see a demonstration, one of the demonstrations that is against Hamas, and this is one of the signs of the less fear of the Gaza citizens towards Hamas, and some of them have just had it. Belev chatzui, with a split heart. These are personal highlights on families that part of the family has returned from Gaza, from captivity, and the other parts of the family, like a son, a brother, a father, are still there. Some of those members are dead, some of them are alive, but I'll bring to you the story of the mother of Yair and Eitan Horn. She's a mother of 2 boys, grown men. Here's Yair Horn and Eitan Horn, that were kidnapped into Gaza. Ruti got back Yair Horn as he returned from captivity in one of the hostage release deals. So Yair is the older son, and her younger son, Eitan, is still in captivity. In the image here, although they were held together, they were split in the hostage release deal. And here in this image is the last hug, the last embrace they gave each other before one of them, the older one, is released. Ha'ke'ev ha'bilti nigmar, the unbearable and the unending pain of the family members that have reunited with their loved ones, but still waiting for those who have been left behind. And this is very different than other families that have received their loved ones back from captivity, and that makes the family whole. So they're dealing with trauma and support and maybe injuries, but the family at least is whole as a group, and they're not split. So very different stories for many different families in Israel regarding the captivity. Remember Sasha Trupanov? He was also released after 500 something days. He met with President Putin, Vladimir, and Vladimir told him that he must thank Hamas for their humanitarian act of releasing him. That's not in the newspaper. I wonder if it's just too hard to read. Next, we get a glimpse into the personal life of one of the Nova Festival survivors. Her name is Esther Shitrit, 23 years old, and what she's went through there is horrific. But this is a series of articles that Yediot Achronot newspaper is publishing. This is the second one of the series, and the series is the Nova Festival Survivors. And here she's quoted, Esther Shitrit is quoted, Hitchananti shelo yichav li, shelo ya'anu oti, shelo yichtafu oti. I begged that I will not be in pain, that they will not torture me, that they will not kidnap me. A year and a half later, it says here, Sordei HaNova, the survivors of the Nova Festival. Therapy. What's with her therapy? It says she goes to a psychiatrist and a psychologist. She also takes part in the Nova community retreats that they have for their well-being and mental health and trauma processing. Only 2 months ago, she returned back to work. It's not the same job that she had before, so a completely new job, but look how long it takes them to return back to normal living. And what about the triggers? A year and a half later, it says here, she's quoted, I am still always alert. If something will happen now, I will immediately act. If I'm driving in the car and a small little stone hits my wheel, I jump, and I'm sure that my car was shot. If there's an ambulance siren, I get alarmed very fast. I cannot drive with music in the car, loud music, because I always need to know what's going on and be very, very alert. Also with that, when I'm very tired, I'm not sleeping well because I always need to be alert. And just what she went through for 7 hours of hell, Esther Shitrit fought for her life. This young girl came to dance in the Nova Festival, and she got a barrage of bullets from the Nukhba terrorists shooting the car, where she was the driver and her girlfriends are in the back, and she says, if I'm killed, my whole friends are killed. So she had a lot of responsibility in her. In the end, they decided to leave the car and hide behind a tank. Then an RPG explodes right next to the tank where she was hiding. Here's the tank, and here they're hiding. And when she was finally rescued, the young man that she was holding in her arms dies from his injuries right in her arms. a year and a half after October 7th, it says here that Esther Shitrit knows very well that the anxiety will accompany her whole life, but she refuses to give up. I want to go back dancing, to go out, to live. I want to believe that there is more life after all that happened. And something very cute to end with, Billie the dog returns home. Billie is a female dog that was found in Rafah. She heard Hebrew from the soldiers there. She comes out of ruins, runs to the soldiers. They check her chip and they realize she belongs to the Danzig family. Danzig family is from Nir Oz, and they lost 2 family members in captivity in Gaza. They were killed in Gaza. And their dog was stolen from them, from Nir Oz, on October 7th. And now she's returned back to them. One of the family members, his name is Ben Danzig, says, "זה היה מאוד מרגש." It is very מרגש, emotional. It is a memory from the life previous of October 7th. So here's Billie when she's reunited with the family, and before that, on the way back from Rafah, and with the fighter soldier that took her with him and checked her chip. So praise God for Billie returning home. Thank you for standing with us. And I want to remind you, when you pray for the peace of Jerusalem, the peace of Israel, pray for the hearts of the people of Israel to return back to the Father, to return back to full restoration to Him. If you like this video, please like it and share it with your friends and with your family. This is Rotem again for All Israel News.